All right, great caller. Every week he gives us something amazing. You know, you want to subscribe to TFR? I mean, you don't even need to subscribe to my channel. Just subscribe to listen to all these voices. So many people that call into this show, what they share every week is more important than anything I got to say. Let's go to Cleveland. Cleveland, thank you for your patience.
Hello?
Hello. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, let's start with the Colts and the Vikings, Zach. I mean, it's one thing to be wrong. It's one thing to be wrong. They didn't even make the playoffs. You cost a lot of money to a lot of people. And afterwards, you have the gall to say they flipped the script. Brother, you don't know how to read the script.
You got the floor. I'm going to let you say all you got to say, and then I'll respond. So what else you got?
I want you to respond to that. Let's go down the list, Zach.
Okay.
Tell me about the Colts and tell me about the Vikings. Tell me why you were so damn sure, and tell me why you copied. See, this is what I think. I think you copied what's that clown's name? Chosen One? That's the copy. Because you had the same exact damn pick as he did, and he came out with it first. How is that possible, Zach? So not only are you a fraud, but you copied a fraud. What the hell does that make you? Go ahead and respond now, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to respond. And I just muted that person because I have a feeling that if I respond, they're going to try to talk over me. So, you know, you're on mute. I'm going to bring you back after I respond. I just don't trust you based on how you already presented yourself. So for all the people who are posting, this is being posted everywhere, a website's been set up called Gematria Frauds talking about how I said the Super Bowl was going to be the Colts and the Vikings. And my response to that is, if you follow my work, if you go back to February 2016 and go all the way up to the present, you can see my Super Bowl pick from the beginning was Giants versus Colts, with the Giants likely to win and become 5-1. And I showed how it had to do with the death of Frank Gifford, and a number of other people reported dead in recent years. 58 was a huge number in the last Super Bowl. It's often an important number in sports. This year, 2016, marks 58 years from 1958, the year they called the greatest game ever played between the Giants and Baltimore Colts. And the championship in 59 was also Giants and Colts. Giants won both of those. If the Giants won again this year, it would have been the third time. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But for anyone who's followed my work and honestly listened and paid attention to what I said, you know, in the beginning of the season, I saw some very interesting tributes to the Patriots. And I said, oh my God, if I'm wrong about the Colts, but I'm right about the Giants, don't be surprised if we see a Patriots-Giants Super Bowl again, also the third time. And along the way, if you just follow all my work, you know, you just brought up RFG Chosen One, who this week tried to reach out and apologize for the past. So I'm accepting that. I'm not going to knock RFG. But if you go back and watch, he made a video about me this summer making fun of me, saying that the Super Bowl would not be the Giants and the Colts. It would be the Vikings and the Colts. And before he even put out that video, I put out a video saying, well, RFG's made fun of my pick, and he said he's going to come out with his own pick in a week. I said, don't be surprised if his pick is Vikings and Colts, because since about March, I've been writing how if I'm wrong about Giants and Colts, another possible narrative is Vikings and Colts. Then we had the death of Prince, Denny Green. So my work is just about documenting the ongoing patterns. And I've explained all this time, my work is an ongoing study. This is research in progress. It's not perfect, but already look at what I've shown, man. I mean, if you want to call me a fraud, you're calling from Cleveland. I don't know if you are Gary, if you're Gary the numbers guy, you know. Listen, Gary, this past year, and this is all documented on my video channel, you can go back and look at it all. What did I call for the Super Bowl? I called Broncos from October of last year, the end. I called Broncos over Panthers by November. Along the way, I said why Von Miller, number 58, would be the MVP. I said why there would be a Black Panther tribute. I talked about Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party, Oakland, the significance of Cam Newton being the 58th starting quarterback in the Super Bowl. Talked about all these things before it happened, before the Broncos beat the Panthers, before it was even said it's the Super Bowl, before there really was a Black Panther tribute, and then, you know, headlines about Beyonce and how she shouldn't have given this tribute to the Black Panthers who inspired violence in the past, as our last caller was talking about. And I just told people, the whole Super Bowl is going to be imagery for the race war the media is trying to build, the same media that gives you your news, that runs your sports. You know, all year, been documenting these things. I said what the NBA Finals was. If this is Gary, I mean, Gary, you said your bread and butter is the NBA. You said this year the NBA Finals would be Cavs over Thunder. And I was saying, my research says Cavs over Warriors. And that was correct. Called that from the beginning of the season. Spring training, I said why the Cubs would win the World Series, and they did. I thought it would be over the Astros. That didn't happen. But I showed during the season how the Astros scheduling against the Cubs foreshadowed the Cubs World Series and the Cubs winning in Game 7, something I talked about through a lot of the season. I even said 47 days before Game 7, before the World Series was set, that it would be Cubs in Game 7 and Miguel Montero, number 47, would have a big hit. He had the game-winning RBI. Before Game 7 of the World Series, I said look for the second baseman for the Cubs to hit a home run. He did. You know, a lot of things I called. Mr. Billy Goat, who faked his injury with the ACL, I said, watch, he's going to be all part of this Cubs narrative. Curse of the Billy Goat, you know, goatee, fake injury, rig sports. Called the college championship, so many things last year. People's deaths, you know, just this month, I said, look for Carrie Fisher to die 67 days from her birthday. She did. Last month, I showed how the death of Rashawn Salaam was connected to the future Heisman winner, the young phenom for Louisville, who has the same birthday as Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, born in Louisville. I said the death of Rashawn Salaam in the park is a sign that the Louisville QB will win the Heisman. I showed how Park was like Parkinson's, which was synced up with the Louisville QB, and of course Muhammad Ali. So anyway, I've said all that. You're still on the line. We got 5 minutes till the break. And if you're intelligent, I might even let you have the full 5 minutes till the break, because a lot of people, I think, have your opinion and point of view, and I'm trying to reach people like you. And if you are Gary the Numbers Guy, if you want to introduce yourself that way, if this is you, you know, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to incorporate this knowledge with the knowledge you already have. Because I see you know your numerology better than I do. I've never claimed to be an expert in numerology or anything. I just share with people what I have figured out and what's ongoing and what has revealed very much in this world. So here we go. Back to Cleveland. Cleveland, you got it.
Let's start first of all. When it comes down to one prediction, you know, sun shines on a dog's ass someday. So I'll give you the Cubs. Not to mention I went on local TV and said it's going to be the Indians and Cubs. But let's go with the facts. Zach, when you're going to be someone who says you can predict things, why don't you do it like a real man and do it against the NFL line? See, this is why I look at all you clowns on YouTube. You're predicting winners. You're taking favorites. By the way, your teams are gone already. And now you guys are switching to my picks. Of course, like you guys always do.
So I just had to mute him for a second, because you can tell this person is paid for disinformation. This is just like but I'm going to let him speak some more. I'm going to put you back on. But look, you said I'm going to give you one. I didn't make one pick. I've made very complicated picks. I've explained why championships would be won in Game 7 from the World Series to the NBA Finals. King James winning on the real King James' birthday. And if you are Gary, I saw you go on TV after I put out that knowledge and say the same thing, that it would be on the real King James' birthday. And you could have researched that yourself, and I'm not going to say you copied from me, but I saw you go on TV and share the same thing I'm sharing. So that should show you. You and I, we're looking at similar things. I don't see why you wouldn't want to work with me instead of continually trying to dismiss my work. You know? In the World Series, at the beginning of the playoffs, right when they began, I said why it would probably be Cubs and Indians, and showed why. You this year said the Red Sox would win the World Series, then you said the Indians would win it. So, you know, if this is you, Gary, I don't know why you're attacking. Your methods aren't exact either. We should work together. Let's improve. I'm going to give you another chance. Back to you, Cleveland.
Again, I put the Cavs pick out in 2014, Zach. 2014, I said they'd win the title in 2016. By the way, you said they'd win the title in 2015. Wrong.
I was wrong.
Let's get things. No.
So hold on.
Go ahead. You're just going to mute me again.
No, I'm not. Just let me say this real quick. I said that months before the playoffs started, I said that the NBA Finals would be Warriors and Cavs. Not many people had that drawn up that year, and I thought the Cavs would win.
I did.
I got it backwards.
And you were wrong. Now, I said King James was coming back to the goddamn owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2014, and I told him he was leaving to his face in 2010. Not only that, in 2014, check Twitter, Zach. I know you do. And it said Cavs won the title in 2016 before any of you Gematria guys even said anything about it.
Well, that's great
Do
work.
not try to steal my
That's
pick.
great work.
Do not try to steal my pick. Do not try to steal my pick and then say you gave it to me. Do not do stuff like that, Zach. That's what you do to everyone else. But see, the thing is, Twitter's timestamps. You cannot steal stuff. You're already wrong about this year, the Vikings and Colts. You were wrong about Hillary Clinton getting elected. I go on Michael Savage, tell everyone Donald Trump's the next president. You have the nerve to call me a fraud? For God's sake, you open your damn network on 12/15/2016, which is a 9-day. Are you a freaking moron? No numerologist would do some stuff like that. What is wrong with you?
It was
all you know how to do is count up letters?
It was the birthday of the man.
No. How can you say everything is based off letters when the letters are based off numbers?
Well, that's what
What is wrong with you?
I'm saying it all goes back to numbers. The letters are numbers. That's what I'm saying.
So obviously numerology is superior to anything you're spewing. Correct?
They're related.
No. One is crawling, one is running. Big difference.
Knowledge is power.
I can go out there. I can go out there and take people's birthdays and read them like a book. You cannot do that with Gematria because it's an incomplete science.
So I'm just putting you on mute because we're about to go to commercial. I think this debate needs to be had. I think people might be interested in this. If you could be a little more respectful after the break, I think it'll go better. Knowledge is power. Let's work together. That's my message. We're coming back from the break. I'm going to give you at least a couple more minutes to make your final point. See if we can work this out. The commercial should be coming right up. Truth Seeker will be back in just a moment.
Truth Frequency Radio is your #1 source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like Revolutionary Radio with Rob Skibba, The Christopher Everard Show, Freaky Friday with The Woo Crew, Twin Flame Divine Fire with Alan and Sandra, Phoenix Rising Radio, Secrets Revealed with Zen Garcia, The Anthony Pat Show, Quantum Connections with Lucky and Star, Voices from Afar with Bill Demarest, The Nathan Fraser Show, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any computer, mobile device, or from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117, or call into your favorite show toll-free at 866-37-TRUTH. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Special report, actress Debbie Reynolds dead. A day after her daughter, actress Carrie Fisher, died, 84-year-old Hollywood legend Debbie Reynolds was transported to a Los Angeles hospital. Reynolds later died after what was called a medical emergency. More on the legendary actress's career from correspondent Bill Michaels.
Debbie Reynolds starred opposite Gene Kelly in the 1952 classic Singin' in the Rain and was nominated for an Oscar for her role in the musical The Unsinkable Molly Brown. She was also nominated for a Tony Award in 1973 for her performance in the Broadway musical Irene. She had 2 children with the late crooner Eddie Fisher, who left her for Elizabeth Taylor. Carrie Fisher, who starred as Princess Leia in the original Star Wars trilogy, died Tuesday at age 60, days after suffering a medical emergency on a flight from London to Los Angeles.
And Reynolds' son says now he's with Carrie. She's with Carrie. Debbie Reynolds dead at the age of 84. I'm Barbara Cusack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denounced Secretary of State John Kerry's Mideast policy speech. Correspondent Oren Lieberman reports Netanyahu called it biased.
In a 70-minute speech, Netanyahu made it obvious he felt it didn't focus enough on Palestinian incitement and violence and instead focused almost entirely on settlements.
President-elect Donald Trump got a call from President Obama today after Trump had earlier tweeted about the president throwing up roadblocks to a smooth transition. After the two talked by phone, Trump seemed to change his tune.
We had a very, very good talk generally about things. He was in Hawaii, and it was a very, very nice call, and I actually thought we covered a lot of territory.
That trio of earthquakes that struck a remote part of western Nevada today could have caused significant damage. A leading expert says if it had been centered beneath a big city, as much as $1 billion in damage may have been realized. Luckily, no damage or injuries. I'm Barbara Cusack.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, Truth Seekers, we're back. We got Gary, the numbers guy, on the line, one of the best sports numerologists in the world. Very talented man. I got to ask Gary a question before I give him the line back, and I hope he can answer this question sincerely. I know Gary has that 33 tattooed on his bicep that he showed off on TV. He was talking about King James winning the championship with the Cavs in Game 7. In Gematria, which Gary doesn't think too highly of, Cleveland equals 33. It happens to be the only city in the NBA that sums to 33. Cleveland is 33. Gary, the numbers guy, is from Cleveland. He called the Cleveland championship apparently in 2014, which is an awesome thing to do, so congratulations to him. But then again, we're talking about the NBA and LeBron James. I mean, a lot of people in their sleep could call that LeBron James is going to be in the NBA Finals, you know? Not to put down his pick because it's the first time that he broke the curse in Cleveland in a specific year, and a year I talked about a lot why I thought the Cavs would win it for sure last year. So anyway, Gary, I want to know what you think about 33 because you got 33 on your arm. Cleveland equals 33. The Cavs were the first team of 33 teams in the NBA history to come back from 3-1 and win it. 3-1. Basketball equals 31. LeBron was 31. The name Curry equals 31. We saw Villanova win the championship for the first time in 31 years. Using the alphabetic order, basketball equals 85. Villanova had last won in 85. Their championship all synced up with the Pope's departure through Philadelphia. Villanova not too far from there. So, Gary, tell me about 33. I understand these numbers have duality. I know the word teacher equals 33. 33 is the master teacher number. I know the word justice has 33. NBA Finals has 33. So 33, it's not all bad. Plus, it's on your bicep. So, Gary, tell us about 33 and why, again, Gematria is not relevant. Here we go, friend. It's all you. Gary, you're on the line, brother. Gary, are you still there, man? Oh, I see you're snoring. Okay, Gary's snoring. Gary, wake up. Tell us what's going on, man. I got people on the line. I got callers that want to talk. Don't waste time. Gary, I used to work with children in a group home, and I hated to have to count down to them, but sometimes you just got to do it to get them to follow along. We had to get these things called 5 counts, and if they couldn't respond to the 5 count, we just had to say, okay, you're going to lose this privilege. The privilege today is going to be the loss of being on the phone. You're just silent on 33, huh? Masonry's 33, secrecy's 33, maybe you're telling us something. So, Gary, I got to give the 5 count, and if you can't speak, I got to go to the next caller. 5.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey, thank you, Gary.
I'm here.
What do we got?
Well, let's get started. Number one, you're making me look bad by association. You sure as hell ain't no numerologist. You don't know what the hell the numbers mean. You're making hocus pocus with this Gematria stuff. It really is not that accurate, Zach. I have spent my life doing this. Not 1-2 years. I've been doing this since 9/11. I was the first one out there exposing the Zionists for doing 9/11 on the 11th, making sure the first flight was Flight 11, making sure the Twin Towers had exactly 110 stories. I was the first one out there exposing this, and you have the nerve to call me an agent? Bro, you're lucky I wasn't right by you when you said some stupid stuff like that. I'm an agent. I could have been on ESPN. I could have been all over already if I sold out. So let's get one thing clear. I'm the only one who's a real numerologist and going out there and actually making real predictions, telling people when airplanes crash, telling people why some people are rich, telling people why people have bad years, and when people die. See, when you go out there and say Prince died because of this and this, that's nonsense. This is 2016. 2016 is a 9-year. 9 is completion in numerology, Zach. That's when people die. You made a whole video about Fidel Castro, my student, who I had 300 around the world who know real numerology, actually predicted his death in 2014. So when you make claims about some kind of sacrifice or a hit, it's ridiculous. Prince has nothing to do with Tony Romo's birthday. See, this is the problem with someone born on the 21st, Zach. You're making connections with no foundation. You don't understand real numerology. But I will give you this. You fooled a hell of a lot of people into thinking you know what the hell you're talking about. Clinton lost, Zach. The Cubs won. Yeah, nice. I had the Cubs in the World Series too. Nice, bro. Nice one there. What happened to the Colts and Vikings? What happened to all those other teams? You are not very accurate at predicting. You need to get that out that game because what you're doing is you're making real numerologists like me who's called 10 NBA finals in a row. I haven't missed one, Zach.
Can I ask you
again,
something?
that Cavs pick, you guys went all the way in. You, RFK, whatever the hell, the Bobby, whatever his name is, I put it out in 2014. You cannot touch that. None of you guys here. I can't even release my picks because you thieves will take it and claim credit for it. And you, my friend, you really got a big problem because you actually take other people's work and then accuse them of doing the same. You really are a piece of work. I mean, I really don't even get why you would do something like that. Obviously, you took my Cavs pick. Obviously, you took my Cavs pick because I put it out there in 2014.
But I'm not aware of you.
The only kid you would deny this.
Hold on, Gary. Hold on 1 second. The only reason that I'm honestly aware of you is because a lot of people have brought you to my attention. I've been trolled the entire time I've been here. You have a lot of people that follow you because a lot of people in the last 2 years have written, you know, your work's okay, but Gary, the numbers guy, is way better. So you got a fan base out there. But what I'm trying to say is...
It's not a fan base.
Okay, well,
people
whatever
who've seen the truth. Some people are aware. See, and not everyone's an entertainer, Zach.
People who follow the leader, Gary Grinberg. Okay, that's how we'll say it. We'll phrase it so that you feel honored. This is the point
that feel honored about. There's truth and there's not. There's truth and there's nonsense. See, here's the problem, Zach. You don't know the damn truth you think you do. And you really got a good mouthpiece. Got to give the devil his due. You're really good at talking. And you've convinced a lot of people into this Gematria stuff. It does not work. Because here's the problem. Without numerology, it's like a map. And that Gematria only gives you the longitude. Without the numerology, you can't find the latitude. So you can't find the precise location. You're all over. That's why this will never be accurate. I mean, I gotta tell you, man, I only was aware of you because people started telling me this guy is getting famous off your pick, Gary. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, nice. This guy would have got a little YouTube fave off my pick that I put out there in 2014. Good for you, man. Good for you. I gotta tell you this, Zach. You have to have a track record. See, you guys out there are actually doing hocus pocus. No. This is what you want to do. You want to man up and do what I do. You want to do what I do. Do picks against the line, Zach. Don't just bet Browns money line every week.
I gotta ask you one question before I let you go. On the day, since you brought up the election, on the day Donald Trump, or the day of the election, it was November 8th, 2016, Marilyn Manson came out with this new music video called Satan, a play on Satan. And if you've seen that music video, it's very clear that there's a 33 trickled in the blood on the screen where it's supposed to be a beheaded Donald Trump bleeding from the neck. And there's a very clear 33 put on the screen. The word Satan in satanic gematria, where you multiply each letter times 6 and add, and remember, Gary, this gematria is way older than you and I and everyone else listening. Probably everyone on this show combined, all of our ages put together, we're probably about as old as gematria.
So is the Bible, and so are a whole bunch of other lies.
So I'm saying, what's up with the 33, Gary? Why the 33 on your bicep?
Because I'm a 33 life path born 1/7/1978. 17 plus 1978 adds up to 33. That does not mean I'm a Mason. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what I tell Masons. I tell them I was born in 33, and they just have to pretend to be one. That's the whole point. You don't understand.
You get the last word, Gary. On
the last word is this, man. Stop making me look bad. Numerology is the real deal. What you're doing is kiddie stuff. So stop doing these predictions, man. Leave it to the experts like me.
All right, Gary Grinberg, the expert. All the knowledge you need to know. However, if you followed his World Series pick last year, you might have missed 2 times. So thanks, Gary. You have a great night, brother. You know, some people just don't want to work together, Truth Seeker. Some people just don't want to work together. If you guys want to look up Gary's on-TV appearance saying why the Cavs would win in Game 7 before it was played, he flexes, shows off the 33. And the handshake he does with the man on the TV is a little bit interesting. I mean, Gary said he's not a Freemason, so I'm going to take his word at it, but I'll let you judge for yourself. We're going to go to Portland, who's been on the line so patiently. How are you, Portland?
So there it was, Truth Seeker, every week on the Gematria Effect. Shows on Wednesday, starts at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, 3-hour program. There's always interesting callers. I always let people who disagree with me speak their mind. And, you know, I try not to argue so much with people. So you heard as Gary was speaking, he was saying I copy other people's work, I take his work. Anyone who follows my work should know that's not true. When I started here, I was doing something nobody had ever seen before. Everyone thought I was insane. And just over time, building the knowledge and evidence, a lot of people have come around. And I'm hoping Gary Grinberg will be one of those people to come around. And if he's an honest man, I don't see why he wouldn't want to. Because as he knows, in 2016, my sports predictions were a lot more accurate than his. He waited to call into the show until I finally got something wrong. You know, he wanted to gloat about the Colts being off. And as for the Vikings being off, you know, I don't feel too bad about that because I told people all year my pick was Giants and Colts. And if I was wrong about the Giants, there was a narrative there with the Vikings. But I've said all year, what's going on with the Vikings? It could be clues for years down the road. It's just like how Frank Gifford died before, not this season, but last season. And all the evidence around that is what I saw pointing to this season. And using the information I had, I thought there was a real narrative for a Giants and Colts Super Bowl this year. It's not correct. And I don't feel bad about that either. I mean, I'm sorry if you lost money on it. I lost some money on it. But the thing is, I put out a lot of information that came true. I've helped a lot of people win a lot of money. You know, I told people who would be the MVP of the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl matchup was even set. I told people who'd win the game. I said the same thing for the Cavs, the Cubs, college championships this year. Nailed a lot of things. So, you know, if Gary's a wise man, he claims to be a wise man, I think he should see the worth of my work, and I think he should pair the knowledge with what he's teaching. As for him saying his birthday is January 7th, 1978, and he's not a Mason, it's interesting to know that the word Mason in Gematria sums to 17, kind of like January 7th, his birthday. So I uploaded this video for everyone who wanted to hear this conversation. I feel there's a lot of people who feel like Gary Grinberg, and, you know, I wanted people to hear both sides. So there it is, Truth Seeker. Tune into the Gematria Effect on Wednesdays. Lots of great callers and interesting conversations. Until next time.